there is 2 p.m. on Thursday. This is 2 a.m. on Friday, right there approaching the Outer Banks. Some of the winds are already approaching there, but it's not going to be till Saturday, 2 a.m., way over here, Dennis, that we're going to finally get this out of here. So we've been dealing with this hurricane for quite a long time, and on those closest approaches, we still have those hurricane warnings right there as you approach close to the coast. And for Georgia, tropical storm warning because we're a little further offshore. But look, portions of Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, that's a hurricane warning because we're so close to the coast. And that means hurricane force winds anywhere within 36 hours. The watch up here for the Outer Banks of North Carolina, even sneaking up here a little into Virginia. And that's because you can get hurricane force winds within 48 hours. So really watching this close, watching the path. Let's talk about some of those impacts that we're going to have. Here's something that I wanted to show, a great tool from the Weather Prediction Center in College Park, a couple different areas. We also have this in South Texas. This is Fernan that's coming on shore into Mexico, but could get some heavy rain in South Texas. So if you're watching from other areas, South Texas, just kind of think about some of the rainfall that you can get in northern Mexico and also into South Texas. But Dorian, that's what we're talking about for Florida and also Georgia and South Carolina. This is the day one problems that we can have with some of the rain. That's a moderate risk right in there. And then if we march it forward with time, this is day two, a high risk by the Weather Prediction Center is the highest that they could really issue, because this is just a dangerous situation. So anywhere in there, you can have some significant rainfall that can occur. A high risk, this is South Carolina, North Carolina towards the Outer Banks, and that's day two. So that's looking into tomorrow. And then if we march on with time, still doesn't go away. The Outer Banks, portions of North Carolina and also Virginia there can get some significant rainfall. So if we really dive into getting a little closer to exactly what we mean, this is a great way to illustrate it. This is actually the rainfall forecast from the Weather Prediction Center, looking at that track. And any little shift in that track could also shift some of these values. But for now, Georgia's seeing some of this rain. The values in orange, 6 to 10 inches. Let me outline it. Through Georgia, through South Carolina, North Carolina, all the way up to really close to the Virginia border there. Anywhere in there, 6 to 10 inches. But notice, 10 to 15, really, really close to the coast. 10 to 15 portions of South Carolina, North Carolina, moving northward. So that could cause some significant flooding. And remember, we talk about the track. Some of these values can shift a little more inland if we have a little shift in the actual track. There's 4 to 6 feet. It could get significantly inland with time, so we'll have to watch that. Just all on the coast. Know your zone. Listen to the local emergency managers. Just make sure that you're taking precautions, because that's a lot of storm surge and so important. Not just those barrier islands, not just the beaches, but some areas could stretch in significantly with time. So we're going to watch it. One example, if we can zoom in, is just one example of many. You start looking about the Pamlico Sound. You start getting to North Carolina. Some of these areas you can see the storm surge, not just on the barrier islands. This is a good example how the water gets pushed into these areas, and then by the time you get to where the rivers end, piles up. Some of that water piles up. So be careful. Know your zone. Listen to those local officials. And then if they tell you to leave, you just got to leave. We're going to go check out the tropical analysis forecast branch real quick. They get some new information for us. Really try to keep the mariners safe out there. I was talking to Scott a little bit ago, and he got some new data in about the seas. I mean, there's different ways that we can see the seas. Scott, try to keep mariners safe out there, just an important factor. You got some new information, just wanted to share with everybody.
Yeah, you can see here we're analyzing the wave field associated with Dorian and all of the entire Atlantic. But here's these bright colors. We've got wave heights 12 feet up to maybe 35 feet to the north of Dorian. But as it was lifting northward, and you can see last night some of the scatterometer winds, the winds flowing to amplify the wave heights, and I've got some wave measurements here in the 10 to 19 feet between Florida and the Bahamas. Those are those swells that are opposing the Gulf Stream. You can see a little better depiction here on the internet here. Some exact values as high as 19 feet in the Gulf Stream off of Palm Beach all the way down to about 10 off of Key Largo.
Thank you, Scott. So big waves out there. Water always a big issue. So as we continue to monitor